What's going on, guys? It's Quasi Dog here, and I know it's been a very long time since I talked about anything to do with the Hisense TVs, but today I want to go over an interesting find with the Hisense U88G or U8G and U78G or U7G, and that would be with the software update M0801. So we're going to go over one really good thing and one kind of annoying thing right after a word from today's video sponsor. If you guys are looking for an affordable Windows 10 key, then you need to do yourselves a favor and check out VIPscdkey.com. Using the link within the description below, as well as the coupon code GG20, you will have yourselves a brand new Microsoft Windows 10 Pro OEM CD key for as little as $15.82. What are you waiting for? Use that link within the video description, and thank you, VIP SCD Key, for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so welcome back, guys, and like I mentioned before, today we're gonna go over the M0801 update for the Hisense U88G or U8G, U78G or U7G, depending on whether or not you're in the Canadian or the US market. Now, I want to just mention as well, because I do this a lot in the comments of these videos, for you international customers, whether you're in the UK or Mexico or anywhere else, unfortunately, for the most part, your HDMI ports are only HDMI 2.0 and not 2.1, meaning most of this stuff, unfortunately, will not pertain to you. Now, I want to take a quick look here and go through the settings so you guys can see as well. If we go into help and we go into system message, we can see right here, we are running software version M0801. I received this OTA or over the air. So this was just a standardized update, and I received this on both of my TV panels. Now, one thing that's really cool is when we back out of here, you're going to notice that the variable refresh rate is going crazy. So we're pinging in the low 80s, high 70s. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm filming this in 24 frames, so of course, the fidelity is really not going to come across on your screen as it is on mine, but this is running absolutely wonderfully. We're pushing well over 60 frames, and this is with the RT performance. Now, one thing that's really cool and something that I've never seen on any of the previous Hisense updates is if we go into the menu, we go into picture, of course, we have our backlight control. We can come in, we can turn this off, we can set this to medium, we can set this to high. Really, whatever we want to do, we have access to do it. But previously, the local dimming was locked if you had variable refresh rate turned on via Freesync. Now, this does have HDMI level variable refresh rate, so Freesync was not necessarily needed. It just works a little bit better at the lower hertz. But if we go into the advanced settings and we come all the way down, we're gonna see that we actually have Freesync enabled. We can turn that off very quickly so you guys can see sort of the difference. And I just noticed, my apologies, my studio light is actually just casting on the dark part of that screen, but it shouldn't actually make a huge difference. This is just showing you guys a couple of things. Now, if we have that off and we come up, we still have the full backlight control. It works, which is great. Before, this was either grayed out, forced to be off, or if you could change the settings in it via either low, medium, or high, they didn't do anything. Now, if we come back down to advanced settings, we're gonna see that all of this stuff is locked out because, of course, we are using the instant game response as well. But if we turn this back on, just so you guys can see this live, takes a second to kick in, and we're gonna see, where's our gameplay? There we go. So we have our gameplay. We're gonna see that variable refresh rate is still working. That's with Freesync, which is fantastic. Go into picture, we're gonna go into the backlight control. And again, we're gonna see that the backlight control actually has a tangible impact. Whether it's off, low, medium, high, we can see that it's doing its thing. And for that, I am exceptionally grateful, because forever you had to pick or choose exactly what you wanted. Now, one thing I noticed, and I can't recall if this happened in a previous update or not, but when it's in the instant game response, which is on by default in Freesync, actually, let's just go ahead and let's explore this together. We're gonna turn off the Freesync. We're gonna turn off the instant game response, and I want to see whether or not active contrast is doing anything, because I had some people in the comments of previous pieces saying that it did nothing. And in this case, it automatically turned off, and instant game response automatically turned on. But I mean, that is what it is. I don't really care for active contrast. I find it causes a lot more blowouts than it does giving tangible advantages. You can see here, optimized for game settings came right up, and these will gray out by the time that it comes back on. So here we go. So we have Freesync on, like I mentioned before. We're playing Spider-Man, we're zipping around, we're doing all this cool stuff. The hertz are going as low as like 48, up as high as 80, depending on what you're doing. And it looks fantastic. Now, I'm gonna kind of land this jump, put this in the wayside, and I wanna talk about one thing that's driving me a little crazy. So we're gonna go into the Apple TV. Optimized for game settings should turn off here in a moment as well. And there we go. So here's the Apple TV. Now, one thing that I noticed that was introduced in the M0801 update is the fact that no matter what I'm doing, I'm just using YouTube for an example. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Netflix, whether it's loading a video game, anything like that, let's put on Mr. Who's the Boss here. You're gonna notice that the screen at times will go black and it will stay black for a couple of seconds as you have audio. Nah, this isn't actually that bad, and actually I think I know why. So we're gonna do all of this raw and on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe it's honestly because if we go back into the PS5, I do still have that PS5 game running in the background. So let's go ahead, let's wait for this to load in. This takes quite a bit of time because of course it's going from 60 hertz to 120 hertz. It's doing all this stuff, and for some reason it's stuck with half of a screen. That's interesting. I can't hear anything in the background. Let's see what it does. And maybe this is actually what I was talking about. So let's go ahead, let's suspend this in the background, enter rest mode. This should take off the instant game response. We're gonna go back into the Apple TV, and I wanna go back into the settings here as well. So if we go back into picture, we have theater night, which is perfect. Advanced settings, we have all of that stuff enabled, all that stuff is fine. So let's go into YouTube, we're back to 60 hertz, and let's see if it's doing what I was talking about. Yes, here we go. So there is audio as the video is waiting to load in. So it looks like with instant game response enabled, so when my console was running in the background through my AVR, it was actually going quick. But I notice now, depending on what I watch, let's watch the Family Fudge or whatever that is. There's audio coming through, but for about 3 or 4 seconds, the screen is staying completely black. And I don't know why. This is something that's super, super new. It was introduced with the M0801. It's not the end of the world. It literally takes like just a couple of seconds for it to come through, but it's still kind of a pain in the butt. So that's something that's not really that fun. It's something that didn't happen before. But hey, I game on this probably 60% of the time and consume media about 40% of the time. So I'll take the fact that the FreeSync is working over just a small delay with the black screen. And I'm just kind of showing you guys a couple more examples here. You can tell I have kids because there's tons of kids content loaded up on my YouTube Premium. But this takes a while to actually load into a piece of content. It's not the Apple TV. It happens with everything that I enable. So let's go ahead and let's just kind of close it off here. If there's anything else that you guys want me to test on M0801, let me know. I've been trying for a while to get my hands on one of the H series TVs. They haven't all released in Canada yet, which kind of sucks. But I also lost a couple of key contacts that I had the ability to get the betas from and stuff like that within Hisense Canada as well. So that's why you guys haven't seen much, if any, Hisense content in the last little while. I'm working on getting more out. It's just, we went through a dry spell. I happened to get this OTA update, I would say about 2 weeks ago. So I figured I would give you guys the update on the FreeSync with the variable refresh rate actually working and the local dimming working as well. This works across all platforms. I've tried PS5, Xbox Series X, and then on my other TV, my U78G, it's working through Windows as well. So I don't know what they did. I don't know what the magic sauce was that they figured out finally with this update. But for me, it looks like it's working. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, anything you want tested, feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know as well if you received this OTA yet. I actually get this directly OTA from the beta, or I guess the puppy release that I ended up installing through USB, and that may be how I got it on my U78G as well. I don't know if it's officially launched for that platform or not. These TVs are very, very similar, if not the exact same, minus the local dimming zones on the back, so I can't imagine they would differ very much. But that's it for today. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and drop a like. Again, leave that comment down below with anything you want to see or any questions you might have. And until my next video, my name is Quasy Dog. You guys have been awesome, and we'll catch you all in my next one. Take care.